Hello everyone and welcome back. This video is titled "If you see a Coca-Cola bottle with a yellow cap, this is what it means." And here is the story. Coca-Cola is one of the most famous brands in the world, and you can instantly tell that something is their product just by looking at their branding. We've always associated this drink with its red and white branding, and shelves across the world will always have this beverage. However, there's something unusual happening in recent years and Coke bottles are starting to sport a yellow cap. What is the secret behind those unusual changes? Read on to find out. No matter where you end up, there will always be a store selling Coke. This is a worldwide brand, and people across the world are equally addicted to this beverage as people are in the United States of America. It's a worldwide phenomenon, and nobody can explain why. The carbonated and sweet drink that comes in each bottle will give you that refreshing taste. Not only that, but it feels like you're drinking an exceptional beverage. However, did you know that Coke wasn't even supposed to be sold in stores? It was John Pemberton who invented what was to be the world's most famous drink. Well, he didn't know it at the time, but he was onto something massive. His life would forever change, but it's astounding to know that he didn't even intend to sell this concoction in the first place. What he made was a mixture of medicine and herbs that was available to him. John was born and raised in Georgia, and he worked as a pharmacist in Atlanta. As a pharmacist, all he wanted to do was to invent a cure for his excessive coughing. Little did he know that he would create something much bigger than that. In one of his attempts to invent a working cough syrup, John somehow managed to create Coke. Back then, this beverage had no name, and he didn't even know if this was something that was going to work. So he put it aside and went on about his day. A few days later, John returned to his invention and drank it. He was shocked to find out how delicious it tasted, and from then on, he recreated it a couple of dozen times. Although, who told him to sell this unusual invention? His financial advisor told him that he could make so much money selling this unusual beverage. His name was Frank Robinson, and he was a key figure in letting the world experience Coke. However, the inventor was a bit hesitant. Before we continue, if you like this video, please like, comment, or subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. Now back to the video. When his financial advisor told him to sell his drink, John was hesitant because he had no idea whether people would buy it. He was a pharmacist, after all, and not a bartender. What does he know about mixing drinks? After a few months of second-guessing himself, John finally decided to sell his product. He had no name at first, so he decided to think of something that was catchy and easy to remember. Naturally, he asked Frank's advice on the matter. Frank told John that a brand starting with 2 C's would be a hit. John thought of this, and he came up with Coca-Cola. He had no idea what this meant, but little did he know that it would be met with so much success. During those hot summers in Georgia, people would come up to John and ask him for a bottle of Coke. He had no idea that this invented beverage would create such hype in Atlanta. The business was such a huge success that he needed to hire more people to help him with production. Frank was right, the name Coca-Cola was both catchy and easy to remember. John had so much faith in his financial advisor, and he did owe him a debt of gratitude for asking him to sell his product. Although, how did they come up with their signature colors? Nobody could remember who started the red trend, but it had always been a part of Coke's branding. Even as early as the 1890s, ads that were used to promote Coke had hints of red on them. So it had been adopted by the modern corporation. Some people even claimed that the red that Coke is known for was a mixture of 3 shades of red. Nobody has a record of its actual color, but it's said to be a great help for distinguishing this particular brand. Well, we think it works as the brand keeps growing and growing. Coke's inventor couldn't have foreseen how massive his invention would become. What he thought to be a simple cough remedy would grow to become a multi-million-dollar corporation. It's insane, and it's all because he followed the advice of his financial advisor. In some way, Coke is also a product of Frank's vision. If he didn't advise John to sell this beverage, the world wouldn't know what this carbonated drink tastes like. Do you think these two men could ever imagine what their product would be like nearly a century into the future? Nearly a century later, John's invention has spread out all around the world. This beverage has reached the furthest cities from Atlanta, and we think it has the potential to grow bigger. We don't believe that the drink's inventor could have foreseen this phenomenon from ever happening. Today, the company has other beverages that they offer, and they have offices all around the globe. Still, only one drink hits the spot, and a certain red shade keeps on capturing the eyes of millions. Although there have been attempts to try and make Coke cans and bottles in different colors. Through the years, the Coca-Cola company has become a worldwide sensation. You can find most of their products in supermarkets around the globe. Not only that, but they have been expanding as the years go by. In recent years, their marketing department has had an idea that might change how we look at their most popular product. We know Coke for its ubiquitous red color, but what would happen if that color were to switch to something completely different? In 2014, Coke's South Pacific branch had an idea. They wanted to switch up their signature color. Instead of the usual red, they turned its can into 5 other colors. These colors are green, pink, blue, purple, and orange. While this might shake up the usual branding, people in this part of the world loved it. The customers wanted to collect all of these cans, and the production continued. Although they eventually went back to the usual red in a matter of a few months. No matter what color Coke ended up with, their customers remained loyal and continually bought their products. This was a phenomenon that not all brands are experiencing, but Coke did. It was a successful business, and they carried on with countless marketing gimmicks. If we were to tell John that his invention would turn into a multi-billion-dollar industry, he would have fainted, probably. Coke is an invention that would eventually change the world. Although, they had a marketing gimmick that nobody could ever decipher. Usually, the normal Coke bottles would have a red cap on top of it. This was the usual thing around the globe. However, yellow caps kept popping around the United States of America, and nobody knew what it meant. This started a few years ago, and it continues to be in production today. Even the most loyal Coke drinkers don't have any clue as to what this means. So they kept on digging and digging to find out the reason behind this rare yellow cap. As the yellow cap spread out across the country, people were keen to learn what this meant. Typically, these caps hinted what the flavor was. A beige cap meant it had vanilla, while pink caps meant cherry. Although, what flavor was the yellow cap? Most avid fans tasted these yellow caps, but they tasted the same. There was no artificial flavoring. It was the same as the red caps, but with a different color. So what was the difference, and why did the company change its color? It turns out that the main difference between Coke's red and yellow cap is the sweetener. It is all in the sweetener they used to make that product. There was nothing too deep about it, and the flavor hasn't changed at all. If you're looking for a more artificial sweetener, then you could go for the classic red cap. However, if you're looking for a more natural sweetener, you can try the new yellow cap. That was all there is to it, and people loved this, especially a certain group of people. As it turned out, the Coca-Cola company wanted all kinds of people to be able to enjoy their beverages. It was a simple nod from the company so everybody could enjoy a nice and refreshing cup of Coke. We think that this is a great move, don't you? Most people with diabetes or certain health conditions can now enjoy this refreshing drink without sabotaging their health. It was the main reason why Coke changed some of their caps to yellow. Although, what really were the sweeteners that they used? In the red cap, they mainly used high fructose corn syrup, which was an artificial sweetener. However, they used sucrose gathered from beets and cane sugar to sweeten those with the yellow cap. It was such an interesting thing. If you're looking to lose all the artificial sugar in your diet, then the yellow cap can help you with that. It's a great alternative, and more people around the globe are learning about this key difference. Although it doesn't stop there. During a celebration called the Passover, most Jewish can't have corn syrup. That was a thing that they had to follow because of their religion. This was why the arrival of Coke's yellow cap was vital, as they can now enjoy this refreshing drink during this celebration. Yes, the Coke with the yellow cap is declared kosher as it doesn't have corn syrup. The Coca-Cola company has really outdone themselves with this one. They wanted to cater to everyone around the world, and they wanted everyone to have a cup. More than a century after its invention, Coke has had an outstanding legacy that not every single company has achieved. Who would have thought that a pharmacist living in Atlanta would discover what was going to be the most popular beverage in the world? It was mind-blowing. In the end, Coke is getting more and more popular, and more customers are buying its products. Maybe this is because of their marketing gimmicks or their step towards inclusion. All we know is that Coke tastes so delicious. So have you tried Coke's famous yellow cap? That's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. As always, if you like this video, please like, comment, or subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video.